Hey trappers, how's it been? It's been a while since I did a video. Christmas time is coming up, so I figured I would do a good video for you guys and girls as a Christmas gift. And since we're in the dead of winter here, I want to show you one of my favorite winter sets that I use on my canine line. There's some benefits to this set, some big benefits. One, it can be made in frozen ground. Just like people using hay sets, you know, you can make a hay set in bone frozen ground. You don't have to dig a hole or a trap bed or try to chip out a trap bed. And the other big benefit to this set is it's very quick to remake. You know, you'll see when I start explaining it how simple and easy it is for a trapper to remake this set. It's also a very good set for a non-trapper. Say you have a homeowner, a landowner that has chickens, poultry, and they want to protect their flock from a marauding fox in the area. This is a real simple set to master. And also, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail of actually, you know, the mechanics of setting the trap and doing it in the field. I do have some video of the set. But, you know, this set can be used with traditional covering, dirt, you know, wax dirt, peat moss, or a grass type covering, a hay type covering, like you would surface bed a trap, like if you were making a hay set, or you could, you know, bed it similar to Mark Zager does in his pipe dream set. What I want to show you is the mechanics more or less of the set. You know, you know, however you want to bed a trap in front of for the time of the year you're trapping, you know, that's totally up to you. I just want to show you the mechanics more or less of it and why I like it and why it's so easy to remake. So, you know, another part of a bit of a rant here is I made a decision to, you know, try to put out high quality stuff instead of volume, like a lot of YouTube trappers are doing. I don't watch a lot of YouTube in reality, but I've kind of found there are YouTubers who trap and trappers who make YouTube videos. And it seems like there's a lot less of the latter, but I'm not going to go into that too much. But I just want to get started here and talk to you about this set. And also, I wrote about this set in Trapper's Post a couple years ago that, you know, I was using, and I did an article on it. I made a couple changes. You know, you use something a while, you tweak it a little bit. I made a couple changes, but the mechanics of it is basically the same. And what I call it is a stump post set. You know, one of the big benefits to something like this in wintertime is it's elevated. So it'll take a little bit of snow. And, you know, the elevated post also makes really good eye appeal for canines. We all know how canines like to urinate on prominent objects, and you know, in the woods, foxes and coyotes are using these for urine posts, cut off stumps and whatnot. They're using them. They're not using them in the field because they're simply not there. But the way I make this set, it's the stump is just, the stump post is there just for a lure holder, and it's a really quick remake. I mean, the animal knocks it out of the catch circle. You just set it back up and, you know, reset your trap. So yeah, that's why it's a good set to use. And I do another little tweak I'll show you. You know, also if you're dealing with snow. Where I'm at, you know, we get freeze thaw, some snows here. little, 1, 2 inch dustings of snow. But sometimes you get a bigger snow and you got to be prepared to be able to find your traps. And I'll show that when I go over to my bench and show the mechanics. But yeah, this is something really, really simple to do. If you have a chainsaw, you can make a pile of these up in no time. And like I said, somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of trapping experience can be successful with this set. And if you just surface bed your traps and cover them with a grass or hay type covering, it's pretty weatherproof. You can kind of set them and not really mess with them a whole lot. Just check them daily. So I'm gonna shut the camera off and I will go over to my workbench and show you kind of how I make these. But you start out cutting chunks with the chainsaw and we'll go from there. All right, guys and girls, here's your post. One thing I forgot to say when I was explaining this a little bit before, the other huge benefit to these guys is you make them once, you go set them up on your line, and when you're done with them, you stash them, in the woods, in a fence row, just somewhere out of the way, and you never have to load them back up in your truck again. So that's another really good benefit. You're going to go to a spot and you have your posts stashed away, right, ready to go. I know I'm going to get some questions on the size I make these. I make them about 5 inches high. And you want a pretty good size. Yeah, that's about 5.5, 6 inches. That's a really good size. You don't want them a whole lot smaller than that, or they're not as stable. You want a little bit of weight to them. But that's more or less the size, about 5 inches high, 5 or 6 inch thick log. So, really, once you have them cut, this is all I do to them. I drill a hole, and that is an 11/16 inch hole, and the only reason I made it that size is that's the size that a Duke Dog Proof stabilizer stake will fit in if you would want to drill into a tree root or a tree. So I had that spade bit handy. It's about that deep. Like I said, and that's just you can use a 3/4 inch bit. It really doesn't matter. And I like to keep that near the bottom, closer to the base, and I drill it down on an angle so my lure stays in there. I like that at the base because you can set the trap tighter when the fox comes in. His nose is lower and his feet are close to his nose. So I like that down a little bit. These two holes are 1/2 inch drill. It really doesn't matter, whatever bit size you have. That's just what I had handy. And those are a little bit higher. And I used to just spray the urine on the face of this, and I still do that. But sometimes, like this, when the bark falls off, the urine doesn't stick real well, especially if you don't have glycerin in it. So I just, you have these in your shop. You have your drill already ready to go. Throw a smaller bit in there, and I just drill 2 holes in there, and I can add my urine in there and, try to put some on the face too. But I keep these spread apart a little bit because in my mind, the theory of a fox coming in here working it parallel, they might smell the first one and work their way around, step where the trap is, to smell the second hole with the urine. But really the lure you're going to put in the bottom hole is really what's going to seal the deal. Gland lure, my paste gland lure I make, Notorious RFG, I use that in there a lot. Bacon grease works. Beaver oil sac I used in the past, that works good. Mink glands. You really just need something to get them to take that final step. Your urine, especially the time of year, winter time, urine is super attractive. So, that's going to be your main attractor and your main call. Now, That's very simple, very straightforward. Now there's one more thing I want to explain. I drill a 5/16 inch hole in the top on an angle about like that. And I do that for a couple reasons. A 5/16 inch hole will fit most goldenrod. We have a lot of goldenrod around here. And if you're thinking a little bit of snow, or you're going to get, I should say, a deeper snow, and you're going to need to find them, putting that marker in there will, you know, you'll probably find that in a foot of snow with a marker about that size. You can use a bigger, longer piece of goldenrod and put that in there. You know, that way, say you're checking from a road, that actually works as a marker if you don't actually see your set. But if you put a higher piece of goldenrod in there, you can see the marker a little bit from a distance and know if you made a catch or not, if you're down over a bank or something and you're checking from the road. But really, what I do most of the time, if I don't think snow's coming, I don't need it really as high as that was. I'll break it off a little bit and I'll use it about like that. I'll put about that much. As you can see, it's kind of back on an angle. And that does two things for me. I don't like to set these just kind of out in the open because they really stand out. They look very out of place and they might attract hunters or just people passing by. So I will cover them if the ground's frozen and I can't dig up any sod or any, you know, grass or weeds. I'll drape that over top. If not, I'll just use hay. If I'm using a hay cover, and drape that over top. But this actually helps keep your top covering in place. You know, so it doesn't blow away. It almost pins it there a little bit. It just keeps it from sliding off. So, you know, that's an addition I made, you know, over the last couple of years that's really benefited me. You know, grab a couple goldenrod stems, keep them in your truck, and like I said, 5/16 inch hole will fit most goldenrod. So yeah, that's kind of the deal with that. And you know, draping the grass, debris, sod, or whatever over top kind of makes it look like a grass clump. I mean, it really looks good when these are out in the field, especially if you put them in like a soybean field out in the open. I mean, it just looks like, you know, a canine has to come up and check it out and urinate on it. The other thing I wanted to mention too, you know, with this hole in the top, you could, you know, if you were using some kind of flagging or whatever, you know, you could tie a flagging to a good stiff piece of long goldenrod, have that coming off the back, you know, if you're trying to flag something in. But that's kind of what we got going on there. I will show a little bit of a video on this set kind of made in the field. The one I'm going to show doesn't have these holes drilled in there. But yeah, you know, just kind of how I covered, how I want them to look is what I want to show you. And I'll even I might show a photograph of the trap out in front of it, you know, before it's covered with a hay covering. But yeah, any questions, just comment down below. You can check out my TS Trapline Facebook page too. But like I said, I'll answer any questions about this. It's been a good set for me over the years. Super simple, and I just love sets that I can kind of leave in the field and come back and set them up real quick and get trapping. So, all right, guys and girls, just wanted to say Merry Christmas. Until next time. Okay, I just want to show you the finished set here. There's my stump post with the 1/2-inch drill hole lured at the base of the post. Urine on the post. And I like to cover the post just to kind of hide it a little bit from any people would be walking or driving by. Surface bedded trap in front of the post with some hay covering. That's all that's to it.